Welcome back to another video. This video we're gonna go over lower time frame entries. I believe in a previous video, I named it "How to Catch Sniper Entries," and in part of the video, I said you either could set a limit at a order block or a sponsored candle, or you could either look for lower time frame entries. Now I'm gonna go over those lower time frame entries and like how to catch those lower time frame entries. And one of the setups, it was Euro USD. Didn't actually catch this setup, but it's a great thing to show. So if you're able to catch these setups, because you really have to be staring and watching the market, so you have to have the time to catch these setups. So that's why you could either set a limit, because a limit would have worked here as well. This trade is based off a 15-minute point of interest. That's what the POI means. If we go to the 15-minute, you can see it's just a sponsored candle here. Alright. And you don't have to worry about all of this. It's just a reaccumulation right now that I'm looking at on Euro USD. You can see this. There's actually a lower time frame accumulation inside of here that we're going to go over, and that's what I meant by lower time frame confirmations, lower time frame entries as well. It's an accumulation inside of a spring basically, and that happens a lot because the market is very fractal, if you didn't know. So what you see here on the 1 hour will happen on the 1 minute, or what you see on the 4 hour will happen on the 1 minute as well. So let's go over this, and it's really simple. For those of you who already know Wyckoff, I think I uploaded a Wyckoff video here on the channel already. So those of you who are familiar with Wyckoff or whatever, this is a better way to expand your trading and a better way to catch better risk to rewards. So we're just going to compare the risk to rewards after, and we'll see like how it would have looked if you would have taken this trade. So the original idea of this trade was, go to the 15-minute. The original idea of this trade was, we had this consolidation during Asian session. We had all this consolidation during Asian session. Then the new session came and we spiked down. The new session opened at 3 a.m. for me, New York time. We spiked down, then we moved to the upside. Originally, when I woke up at New York session, I was looking at this. I had marked this out before, but we just kept going away from it. So I stopped looking at it, and then until I came back and realized this had happened. But it turns out, since we broke this high right here, we're in a reaccumulation, with this being the spring. So, and then when I did was I was like, okay, this entry would have played out if I would have kept looking at this market. Let's see if I would have caught a lower time frame entry with a better risk to reward, and that's exactly what I did. So I was looking at this and I was like, okay, this would be a great video to explain lower time frame entries and confirmations. So this actually happened on the 1 minute. Down to the 1 minute. Don't worry about that big box. Okay, as you see right here, we have a 1 minute accumulation right here. Now, if I didn't tell you this was the 1 minute, you would have taken this trade. If you would have seen this on the any other time frame, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, any other time frame, you would have taken this trade, because this is a clear accumulation right here. Okay, so as the market began to come down, as you see, before we hit our point of interest, we began to slow down. The market began to change. So instead of having these big spikes to the downside, we're having more retracements to the upside. The market is showing a change of character right here. Okay, and afterwards we have this spring towards the downside. And then we immediately go back to the upside. Okay, so let's mark this out. We know this is our selling climax. We have our automatic rally. We have our ST secondary test. have STB right here. This all could be considered STs, honestly. Sign of strength here. We have our lower time frame spring. This was the higher time frame spring with the accumulation. Have our spring here. Then you have your test, last point of supply, last point of supply. And so you're like, okay, where could you call an entry here? Well, this whole block, right? I mean, block. This whole candle right here, you could have taken, honestly. So if you're looking at it from another perspective, this wouldn't have been an optimal entry, so I wouldn't have taken that. But this is just a video like of entries that you could have taken, because looking at this, you know that you're inside of a 15-minute point of interest, and you know like you're looking for buys here. So once you see this accumulation and you see that the spring is what triggers this entry, afterwards you see moves away from this. Once I would have seen this accumulation, I would have been looking to buy anywhere inside of here, honestly, because that's the most confirmation that you'll get is when you see lower time frame accumulation inside of a higher time frame point of interest, order block, sponsor candle, whatever. Even if you're not targeting like all the way, like, we'll explain that later. Let's catch entries. Let's go to the entries. I'll explain what I mean. But okay. So even if you wouldn't have taken that, guess what? You have an OB right here. You have another OB right here. And these are all just propulsion candles. This mitigated this OB. This OB mitigated this one. So all these candles right here were entries. Let's say you took this entry here. You had a 3-pip stop loss. Okay, so like I was saying before, even if you didn't hold it to like all the way up here or whatever, even if you were just trading it based off the 1 minute, you could have taken a take profit right here at the fill of all of this imbalance, knowing that the market will fill this imbalance. That's a 1 to 7. Okay. Let's go to the 1 hour. Can't see it on the 1 hour. Let's go to 30-minute. Let's go down some more. Okay. I believe there was a sponsor candle on the 2 hour. Okay. So there was a sponsor candle here. So even if you want to take a higher profit, you see this imbalance right here. You could have held it till up here. That's already a 1 to 10. A 10 to 1. That's 10% right there based off of this entry. Right now, this is floating at a 16 to 1 from just this entry right here. This is a sniper entry. This is how you catch the lows. So you're at floating at 16% just from off a 1 minute accumulation. Okay, compared to if you would have had an entry here. Oh, wrong one. Compared to if you would have had an entry here for, let's say, a 13 pip stop loss, you would have been at a 4 to 1. So you see the considerable difference in this right now. One of the trades you're floating at 4%. The other trade you're trading at 16%. Now, nothing is wrong with the 4% trade. It really depends on you, honestly, because even if you couldn't have taken this trade, I would have been satisfied with the 4%. 4% is better than no percent at all, honestly. So even if you're not able to go in the lower time frames and take these entries while you're watching the markets, it's okay to set a limit sometimes, depending if you have a lot of confirmation on that area. Now, this area had a lot of confirmation, so you could have possibly taken a limit here, but only take limits when you have a lot of confirmation surrounding that area. Don't just take limits out of any sponsor candle or whatever. Okay, it's best to look for lower time frame confirmations, but if you have enough confirmation for that area, you can take a limit as well, because not everyone has the time to just watch the market and look for these accumulation or distribution inside of a point of interest. So it's okay to take limits as well. So it really depends on your preference and your trading style and how you are, because either one of these is okay. 4%, like I said, is better than no percent. Okay, but this is just another alternative for those that's looking for a higher risk to rewards, that are able to watch the charts and looking for those lower time frame entries. So this is what I meant when I was saying about lower time frame confirmations, and instead of using the limit in my previous video that I was talking about sniper entries. This right here is a true sniper entry, I would say. But yeah, unfortunately I didn't catch this, but I was already looking at this area. I forgot about it, so I didn't get a chance to look at it, and by the time I looked at it, it was too late, honestly. But yeah, this just shows the fractal nature of the market. Whatever you see on higher time frames, the same thing you'll see on lower time frames. So just because you're on the 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, or whatever, do not be scared to take the trade. Okay, so whenever you have a point of interest marked out, wait for the market to get there. If you have enough confirmation, you can set a limit. But if you want to, if you don't want to take that entry, or just straight off the point of interest or the sponsor candle, then you can also wait for the market to get there. Zoom in on the 5 minute, 3 minute, 1 minute. Look for a breaker structure on the 1 minute or an accumulation. Just look for a smaller time frame setup to happen inside of that area, and then look for an entry, and then take the trade. Honestly, just because you're on the lower time frame doesn't mean you can't take the trade. Take the trade. Doesn't mean it won't work out. You can't be scared to take the trade. Honestly, I'd rather you take the trade and lose the trade than not take the trade at all, because if you had the possibility of winning the trade, then why not take it? You're gonna lose in this market many times, so while you're losing, learn from it. Okay, losses are the best lessons that you can ever have. But that's mainly wraps the video on what I really wanted to go over. But you guys can comment what type of videos you want to see, what concepts you want to see explained, and what other things you want me to go over. Free group is in the description. Free Telegram group is in the description. VIP information is down there as well. Thank you.